Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the closing bell here at MarketStream.live. My name is Joseph Cusick from the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock. Here to wrap it all up. It's been one heck of a week. The Dow Jones closed at 19,886. Still cannot get over that ever elusive 20,000. It was down basically. It was basically flatline by the close, and it came off of its worst levels. It's been an impressive move over the last couple of days. The NASDAQ closed up at 5,574, up 0.4%, almost 0.5% on the close. The S&P 500, it did close up at 2274.64, up about almost 0.2%. And you have the Russell 2000 closing the day at 1,373.40. That was the leader to the upside, has been all day. It was also the leader to the downside. So that gives you an idea of the higher beta component to this index. It was up 1.1%. Action did come on lower than average volume, both on the New York Stock Exchange and on the NASDAQ. New York, about 700 million trade, about 1.6 billion traded on the NASDAQ. Advancers did outpace decliners, and new highs did outpace new lows. Now, that's important. We want to continue to watch that. Where did we see the relative strength today? Well, you'd think, maybe it was finance. No, not really. As a matter of fact, we continue to see the metals moving. Specifically, we saw silver moving again, and I'm not too surprised about that. Silver SIL moved to 1.89% today, that ETF. Really, the semiconductors are really the barometer for that, and the semis have been doing quite well. As a matter of fact, bounced back today, up 1.44% on the SMH. So as the semis go, so goes silver. Mexico, we're getting close to the inauguration. We're going to start hearing more about the wall, as well as the trade policies that are going to be coming down the pipeline. EWW has been under pressure for about a week. It was up 1.74% today. We also saw that UNG, Nat Gas, popped. It was up 1.4%. That was the silver lining in the energy space, by the way. We also saw Provident Financial Services ETF, PFS, up 1.39%. That could be something that we're going to want to keep an eye on, especially since we have Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs. They're coming out with earnings. Then we're going to start watching the e-brokers. Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, as well as E-Trade, all coming out. We're going to watch that. But the financial services ETF up 1.39%. And base metals. As I said, we saw the precious metals. They did pretty well as far as silver's concerned. DBB, the base metals, up 1.32%, coming off of its weaker levels earlier this week. Where we did see weakness, well, in some of those regional ETFs we saw, in world ETFs, we saw Greek, G-R-E-K, down basically 2.1% today. We also saw weakness in Russia. RSX is the ETF that you can look at, down 1.26%. We're going to keep an eye on those two ETFs, specifically Greece, because we want to see how these currency fluctuations and the potential for moving away from the euro and more talk and beating of that drum starts to come about. We've heard a little bit come out of Germany and France this week. We're going to watch that closely. We also saw that oil services were under pressure. Take a look at OIH, down about 1.39%. Oil continues to struggle. It did come off of its worst levels, though. Crude does get over that $52 a barrel mark. But USO was down about almost 1% at 0.95%. And we're going to watch that one very closely, especially since we're going to see if actually the OPEC and non-OPEC nations are going to start to adhere to their production freezes. We basically have stayed in a pretty tight range this week. And, we're awaiting more earnings reports. Specifically, the bottom line is, specifically, we're going to watch on Tuesday, because we are closed on Monday. It is the Martin Luther King holiday, and in celebration of his great legacy. We're going to see if the earnings from Morgan Stanley, earnings from CSX, transport, we're also going to watch Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, Netflix. That's going to be on Wednesday. Tuesday is Morgan Stanley and CSX. We're also going to watch Union Pacific on Thursday, American Express, IBM. Friday, we're going to have GE as well as Schlumberger. So we have quite some heavyweights coming out next week that could set the tone. And really what we want to see is if it can knock it out of this range. We've been in a very tight range in all the major indices. And we want to see if there's going to be some sort of catalyst, especially going into the inauguration on the 20th. I will be online on Monday night. We will be doing Monday night setups. The market will be closed on Monday, but I'll come on and we'll take a look at what's happened on the futures. The futures will have a shortened day, but they will be open, but the equities will be closed on Monday, and we'll get on Monday night. So join me at 5 Central Time, 6 Eastern Time, and I will be online to talk more about getting set up for the remainder for next week. Till then, take an opportunity to look at our archives. We have a ton of information on there. We have a ton of great pieces on there, and we're going to be rolling out more content in the near future. So please get your ideas to us. Get what you want to see, what you want to hear, and we're going to start showing more screens so you can put some context, some images with what I'm talking about. All right, folks, have a great weekend, and we will see you next week here on MarketStream.live. Take care.